Take a few minutes.
Welcome to the 2020-2021 reorganization meeting of the Webster Board of Education. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the
To the flag of the United States of America
and to
and to the republic
for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all.
justice for all. At this time, I'm pleased to administer the oath of office for our elected and re-elected members. Mike Alt, Janice Richardson, and Mike Suffoletto. Will you please raise your hands? Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of office of member, Webster Board of Education, according to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone.
If you would sign your oaths and mail them in to me, that would be great. The first order of business is the election of our board officers. I will now entertain nominations for President of the Board of Education for the 2020-2021 school year.
I would like to nominate Tammy Gorowski for President of the Webster School Board.
I second it.
Are there any other nominations or discussion? Okay, nominations are closed and we will need a roll call vote for this. So I'll go in alphabetical order. Mike Alt.
Aye.
Sue Casey.
Aye.
Linda.
Aye.
Tammy.
Aye.
Janice.
Aye.
Maria.
Aye.
Mike Suff.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations. All right,
Yay, Tammy.
now Tammy.
Thank you,
Do
everyone.
you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of President, Webster Board of Education, according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, everyone.
I will now entertain nominations for the Vice President of the Board of Education for the 2020-2021 school year.
I nominate Linda Diagardi.
And I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations or discussion? Nominations are closed. And we also need a roll call vote for this one. I'll go in alphabetical order again. Mike Alt.
Aye.
Sue.
Aye.
Linda.
Aye.
Tammy.
Aye.
Janice.
Aye.
Maria.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
solemnly
Thank you,
swear that
Linda.
you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of office of Vice President, Webster Board of Education, according to the best of your ability.
I will. Thank you.
And I now turn the meeting over to President Gorowski, who will administer the oath of office to Superintendent Gamina.
Carmen, do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and will faithfully discharge the duties of Office of Superintendent of Schools, Webster Central School District, according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. And
Take care of my oath, Tammy.
pardon?
Do you want to take care of my oath too?
Yes, I do. Cindy Cushman. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and will faithfully discharge the duties of Office of District Clerk, Webster Central School District, according to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. And I will continue with the reorganization agenda, as everyone can see on your screen. There are so many appointments and so many different headings. We're going to group them together somewhat. The district appointments include 36 different positions, from our school district attorneys to construction management, claims auditor, insurance providers, Title IX coordinators, student resident designee, 36 positions in total. May we have a motion, please, to accept the district appointment?
And Tammy, the only new one is the district data protection officer this year compared to last year.
Brian Zimmer. Yes, thank you.
I make the motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Go ahead, Maria.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'll second it. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Was that everyone? I believe it was.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Moving along. The district designations, which include collateral, depository of district funds, official location of the posting of the Board of Education agendas, the official newspaper, persons to administer petty cash funds, and so on and so forth as included there. May we have a motion, please, to accept the district designations?
So moved.
Second.
Linda and Seth, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to the necessary resolutions, which include the superintendent of schools authorized to make transfers of funds within functional units, be authorized to approve appointments of certified staff and classified staff, and that following extra classroom accounts be established. And they are numerous at all 4 secondary schools. May we have a motion, please, to accept the necessary resolutions?
So moved.
Move.
I think that was Mike and Mike.
Yes.
Huh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Further, fees and charges, including athletic admissions, the rental of buses, musical instruments, lunches, school breakfast, fees and personnel charges for the use of facilities and rental of facilities. May we have a motion to approve fees and charges?
So moved.
Sue, and a second.
Second.
Seth.
Myself. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to salary actions for substitute teachers, adult help, student help, community programs and services, substitute personnel, and special education consultants. May we have a motion, please, to accept salary actions?
So moved.
Thanks, Maria. Second?
Actually, I have a quick question.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I ask the question? Remind me, Brian, what the group A, B, and C is. It's been a while and I just don't remember.
Group A is like Parks and Rec. Group B is non-for-profits that have connections to the community.
Okay.
And Group C is just at large. Hey,
Okay.
we want to run a basketball tournament. What's the rate? No affiliation to a youth organization or anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, may we have a motion, please, to approve salary actions?
So moved.
Maria, second.
Second.
By Seth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries, and that brings us to other actions, which is the designation for the annual election and budget vote to be held Tuesday, May 18th, 2021, from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. in the Webster Schrader High School Gymnasium. May we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Linda, and a second
I'll second it.
by Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. And that concludes the business of the reorganization meeting. So moving on to regular business, we do have an alteration to the agenda. And that is the school resource officers' contracts will be tabled to the July 23rd meeting as they were not available. So that is the only alteration to the agenda. Can we have a motion to accept the agenda, please?
So moved.
Saf, and a second
Second.
by Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. We will revisit that. Moving on to new business, we have a bond resolution for the purchase and finance of student transport vehicles, and Cindy will lead us through. Well, Brian, if you'd like to speak to
Yeah.
that first, then Cindy will lead
So,
us through. Roll
Yep,
call.
now that the proposition for purchase of new school buses has officially passed, we could start the formal process of actually borrowing for that. So this is the board adopting the resolution for us to go borrow the $1.6 million for these buses. So what you do, we're gonna board adopts, and then the notice of estoppel also gets published that we're hereby giving the community notice that their district will be borrowing for these buses.
Ryan, what do you anticipate the interest rate is going to be on these bonds?
Based on the borrowing we just did, less than 1%.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we had some very strong bidding on some temporary borrowing that we did for the capital project just, June 30th. So it came in at like a 0.74 was the winning bid. So, normally I'd say it stayed pretty consistent, but we start the process now. We actually do the borrowing late September, early October. So who knows what the next 3 months are going to bring. So.
And what's the time duration for these 10-year?
For this, it's 5 years.
5 years.
Bus is over a 5-year period. That matches with state aid. So as we buy buses, we get aid on them for over a 5-year period. So we borrow at a 5-year period. So the aid matches the borrowing.
Great. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All right. Thank you. Cindy, will you administer the roll call vote?
Sure. We need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Mike Altz,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Tammy,
Aye.
Janice,
Aye.
Maria,
Aye.
and Mike.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to the estoppel notice. Of the bond resolution. May we have a motion, please, to accept the estoppel notice for the student transport vehicles?
So moved.
Maria, second by Suf. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on further to the safety plan approval. So we have,
Yep, so the safety plan, we started that June. Now the 30-day posting period for comments is officially closed, we're required to post. So the 30 days is up and we did not receive any comments. So it's for the board to finalize and adopt as is, and then we'll submit it to the state.
any discussion or questions about the school safety plan? Okay, may we have a motion to approve the safety plan, please?
So moved.
Steph, and a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Thank you, Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We appreciate all the work and effort that's gone into developing this district-wide plan.
Mhm.
Next on the agenda is the treasurer's report from May.
So Mike, Michael, not to forget that we are going to do some changes to the treasurer's report. However, I did promise our treasurer, because we are, accountant bean counter types, don't want to make changes with only 2 months to go in the fiscal year. So you won't see the first official new treasurer's report until probably mid-August, when it's July 1 of 2020. We're going to finish out the fiscal year with the current format. So you have one more in their current format, then we'll have a little change, freshen up of the treasurer's report. I think that'll actually be more to my liking, and I think it was time for that change. So I just wanted to give you a quick heads up on that, because I know we had discussed about that in the past. Other than that, May, not a lot of action going on. We don't collect any taxes in May. A minimal amount of state aid comes in. We did get our first quarter sales tax report. That was slightly down from the year previous. When I say first quarter of the county, January, February, and March, that had 2 weeks of kind of shutdown in it. Wasn't extremely off. It was within 1% loss of overall sales tax. So it wasn't too bad. It'll be interesting to see what our last quarter of sales tax, which is the second quarter of the county fiscal year of April, May, and June, will look like. We'll see that probably somewhere around the August, early September timeframe. So other than that, not a lot of action in May financially going on with revenues and expenses. Pretty standard occurrences.
Thank you, Brian. Can we have a motion, please, to accept the May 2020 treasurer's report?
So moved.
By Mike, in a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the school lunch prices.
Yep, so I wanted to take a little deeper dive for everybody on the school lunch prices, given how we're leaving the program at the high schools. But just to take a look, under the USDA food service regulations right now, we need to maintain an average price of $3.05 going into next year. So what does that look like compared to where we are for 1920? Our average right now is $2.73, see 260, 280, 280. And the county average is $2.83. But there's a formula that Mark and I have to go through every year that takes into account our participation, commodity dollars, usage, and it spits us out a price and says, this is what you need to average. For the past couple of years, we've diverted some of our commodity dollars that allows us to bring that average down, because there's significant jumps if you went to a 305. So we are going to adopt some price increases, but we're still going to be below the average. So elementary is going to go to 275, middle to 290. Now remember, high schools are no longer going to count. They're coming out. So the high school lunch price is going to go from $2.80 to $3.25, but it's going to look completely different because it's going to be all a la carte. $3.25 is going to be like a main line if you want like just the standard of what's up there rather than a grab and go sandwich or something or a drink. This will be like a complete meal, the most similar comparison. So that's going to $3.25. Bringing our average to $2.97, which is still below $3.05. County average, there's still a lot of districts that haven't adopted their prices yet, so it's really too early to tell what it would be. And as comparison, Pittsford's the only other local district not in the state program. Their high school lunch is $3.75 right now, but they've been out of the program for a while. Breakfast will be uniform, $2 for elementary and secondary students next year, going forward as well.
Any questions or discussion? This comes on the heels of the food service presentation, so it's so timely. All of this is very fresh for us. Yes. If there's no further discussion, can we have a motion, please, to accept the changes to the lunch prices?
So moved.
Sue, in a second.
I'll second it.
By Maria. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now, moving on to the 2020-2021 board liaison assignments and committee participation. We typically are very flexible and communicate very well if we think that somebody can't make a meeting, so that we cover all the PTSA meetings at each individual school and the central PTSA meeting as well. And the assignments also include Monroe County School Board Association. So for the most part, everyone is very protective of their schools, wants to keep their same assignments. Linda?
All right.
I'm fine, changing if that's, I can be flexible.
Well,
I love Schlegel, but I can be flexible. I don't want anyone to take it personally. I don't want someone to think I want to leave Schlegel, because I love Schlegel, but I'm happy to move if it would make it more convenient for someone else.
And I am too.
Is our plan to try to do what we did last year, where we moved around a little bit and joined other PTSA meetings? That way it gives different perspectives, different faces to the board at meetings as well. So we can do that again as well.
we can. You did a great job of keeping track of who was going where. And Janice and I talked today about State Road and Clem South and maybe taking turns. So certainly we've doubled up a couple times as well. I think we can just, if it's okay with everyone, just kind of play it by ear. And then if someone thinks that they can't make it, then we try to find someone to fill in so that there's representation at every meeting.
Okay, and I forgot to fill in my name under legislative. I'm happy to do that again. Or I can do information exchange if somebody else wants to do legislative besides Maria.
Sue, information exchange is best for new members. So
Right.
if Maria or Janice or Mike would like to do information exchange, I would suggest they look at it first.
Yeah, okay. I'll do legislative then.
And those times, Mike, that's a good point. And the times for those meetings, if they're not at noon at the DoubleTree, sometimes they're at 4:15. So if that helps.
Try to have at least 2 information exchanges at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, right, especially topics that might really encourage a wider audience.
Yeah, I can do that.
To do the information exchange, I have the flexibility to do noon meetings. That's not an issue.
I can certainly do the 4:15.
Okay, yeah, as soon as the schedule is developed, I'll share it with everyone and we can see the topics. Usually we vote on topics as well, depending on what people across the country, across the county would like to talk about. In
The
addition,
dates are out already, Tammy, for
okay,
the legislative labor and information. They're on the Wednesday, I think, first Wednesday is legislative, then information is the second Wednesday, and labor relations is the third Wednesday. But I may have them wrong.
No, I think you're right, Mike. That's what I saw.
and then also this year we're encouraging the fire committee to attend not only our meetings, but for us to attend, and we've done so pretty successfully to make sure that at least one of us is there, if not more. So we'll continue to do that. I think a rotational basis allows everybody the flexibility to attend planning on a certain event, or whether it's about curriculum, any variety of topics. So we'll look forward to that schedule as well. Okay, are we okay with all of this? Any further discussion? We always have the flexibility to make the adjustments if we need to, but can we have a motion then to accept the 2020-2021 board liaison assignments, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. Second? I think it was Sue.
Yeah, I think it was Sue.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't have any old business. Moving on to the consent agenda, it includes the minutes, personnel actions, and the recommendations on the Committee on Special Education. There's one update to Clem North. The representatives are Laura Ballou and Sarah Welsh. The CSE appointments, the district organizational chart, and then there's some co-op food bids included as well. Can we have a motion, please, to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Maria. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Seth. So before we adjourn, Carmen, I know you've been involved in a couple important phone calls lately and are waiting guidance on a variety of topics. Did you want to provide a brief update?
Still awaiting guidance regarding graduation. We have Plan A and Plan B, and for both Thomas and Schrader. And Plan A includes an opportunity for all of our graduates for each high school to graduate together. Still awaiting word whether or not that will be allowed. And hopefully, we were hoping to know today, but we may have to wait until Friday. Plan B will include smaller ceremonies at the stadium for each of those high schools. For Thomas, it'll occur July 20th through the 24th, I think. And Schrader would occur July 27th through the 31st. And again, it all depends on how many participants you can have regarding the regulations and crowd size. So, and we're still awaiting guidance regarding reopening plans in September. So the governor announced today that guidance should be coming on Monday. And then we have I think we have 11 days to then formulate a plan and submit it to the state. And then we'll hear whether or not our plans are approved. And the governor will let everyone know whether or not he decides that school should be in session, because he is the sole arbiter of that decision. He made that perfectly clear today. And he will let us all know by August 7th. So, you know, it's hard living in a state of gray. But again, it's also it's impossible to create a plan when you have no rules or no rubric. So that's what we're sort of waiting for. But we're moving forward, and we do think we have a pretty good idea of what we would do if all the kids are allowed back in school Monday through Friday. And we probably have a really good idea of what we'll do when we go out on virtual learning, if all students need to be at home. And so those two plans are like, oh, okay, we have an idea what the schedule would be. It's the hybrid model that's driving us all crazy. It's, you know, what do you do if you only have 50% of your kids reporting to school at a time? Or what do you do if, you know, you can only be in school 50% of the week? And that's where we need our guidance, because daycare will be a huge issue when elementary kids are not in school all day, or if kids are in school Monday through Friday. And that's the piece that we're going to be struggling with, and I'm sure many of our families will be struggling with. And we're still awaiting guidance again around what does social distancing mean. What does a bus look like? What do extracurriculars look like? What do sports look like? What does chorus look like? What does band look like? And again, we don't know until we're told what the rules are. Once we have the rules, we can design it. But it's similar to asking, if I were to ask Janice, who's a reading specialist, if I were to ask Janice, Janice, create a new reading course for next year. And that's all I give her. She has no idea. I mean, she's like, well, for who? For which grade level? For how long? What are the deficits in the students that we're trying to do, that we're trying to remediate? And that's really where we are right now. So as soon as I give Janice guidance, though, and I say it's for 7th graders with comprehension issues, and who are no more than 1 to 1.5 grade levels behind, then she could do it in her sleep. But she can't do it unless I give her guidance.
Right.
So if that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense to you. I'm sure it makes sense to Janice.
That's to me.
But so I appreciate all the patience that we have from our community. We've put out 2 surveys. Well, we surveyed everybody. All stakeholders have had a chance to weigh in. We've met with 9 advisory groups, over 300 staff members. Over 4,000 parents have filled out the parent survey, and almost 1,600 students in the last 5 days have filled out their survey as well. And it's really cool to see. And as soon as everything is tabulated, we'll be able to share the graphs with you and with the public, because the parents and the kids are very similar in many regards. So I was just Erin Land is really taking care of that for us, and she shared some of those graphs with me the other day. But they all want to come back. I mean, I shouldn't say that. 90% of the students want to come back. The other 10% are like, I love virtual learning and I want to stay home. And for the parents, about 70% are confident or very confident that they would send their kids to school, assuming that it's, we're going to be following guidelines. And then we have 20% who are unsure, and about 10% that say, I'm not comfortable, and I'm going to wait for a vaccine. So, and that's really important information for us to know, because we will need to design a program for those students that basically opt for remote learning. And again, we're waiting guidance on that. So typically, if schools are open, parents have to send their kids to school, or they homeschool. They opt them out. Will that be the same regulation and the same law that as we enter this new school year? Or will there be a waiver that says, you don't have to homeschool. Just, we'll give you another program virtually. And we don't know what the law will be. So hopefully we will find those things out over the next few weeks.
Can I ask a question, Carmen?
Sure.
So do we get the feeling that there might be different openings for different parts of the state, or is it going to be one size fits all as far as the governor goes?
I can't imagine it will be one size fits all. I have a feeling that it will be. He did not answer this question today. Somebody asked him the exact same question, and he sort of punted. But I would imagine, Sue, that because he's very proud of the fact that we follow science and metrics here in New York, I would think that we would do the same thing. So we would follow metrics, and we would say, okay, for those regions that have this infection rate, if your infection rate is above this number, you can't come in school. So you're totally virtual. If your infection rate or hospitalization rate are between these two numbers, you can go 50-50 or whatever. You can do a hybrid. If your infection and hospitalization rate is below a certain number, like sort of where we are right now, well, again, I'm assuming that, but we are one of the lowest in the state other than North Country. But if it's below a certain number, he may say, yeah, those regions you can open up full time.
Okay.
But again, I'm speculating. I'm trying to read the guy's mind, and but I would think, just looking at how he's sort of filled this role, I would think that that's going to be the case for us.
Right. Thank you.
Yep.
So based on everything that was said this evening, I know that's probably the most important thing, and the thing on most people's minds is we're all trying to anticipate what the fall will look like. So thank you. And thank you to Aaron and Brian and all of you for the work on the advisory groups. I know some of us were able to be part of those, and it was extremely informative and so just incredible to see teachers' commitment to students and their well-being and to what's in the best interest of all, but with a very strong concern over safety and, trying to get kids back in their classrooms. Kids miss their teachers and their teachers miss them. So we will all do the best we can. So thank you everyone for all of that, and welcome Janice.
Thank you.
Say goodbye to one Janice. We're saying hello to another, just slightly different spelling.
Exactly.
So thank you all very much. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So
Okay.
You always
take
wanted
your
to
pick.
We do not have a date for our retreat, do we? We do or we don't?
No, we don't. Cindy is going to send a couple calendar options as we look probably toward mid-August.
Okay.
And everyone can look for that email, and we'll build the agenda and time frame and everything we'd like to tackle.
Well, okay, I have a question about that then, because we usually set our goals, and then if we do it earlier in the summer, the district has an opportunity to respond to what those goals are. Now, maybe you and Carmen have had a discussion about that. I mean, maybe we won't be setting formal goals this year. It'll be really just getting through the school years.
So Sue, can I just offer a suggestion?
Yes.
My suggestion is our goal is to start school. And our goal is to get through the first 4 weeks of school without going out virtually. And then once we get into a swing of things, I would say, now again, and we can work on goals for the board, certainly at the retreat or whatever we need to do. But, in terms of the district responding to those goals right now, we are tunnel visioned into
Sure.
what is September 1st going to look like.
Well, there was a piece that I put in my notes that day about just looking at customer service, and I forget what the other two are right now off the top of my head. But really, I was thinking more along something like that, as opposed to, having any, grandiose educational goals this year. Yeah.
And even to ascertain where kids are.
Right.
So we know how to move forward.
Right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, so share thoughts and ideas by email, and we'll pull it all together and be ready for our next meeting, July 23rd.
Thank you.
I'm assuming we still have to meet by Zoom, right? Because the governor hasn't changed his stance.
Yeah, August, and the remote meetings have been expanded or whatever. It goes until August 5th. And I would expect that he's probably going to go even beyond that as well. So I would think that for the summer, we're going to be Zooming, but who knows? I mean, he may say, hey, no, August, we're doing just fine. And you guys can start meeting in person in August. But the sense I'm getting, especially looking with all that's going out there, he may say, you know what, just hang tight until September.
So it'd be tough to do a retreat via Zoom, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
4 hours? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
See where we
there
are,
were-
we'll
Yep.
pivot. We'll do what we need to do. Still too many unknowns for us to be decisive, but definitely look forward and hope that we're able to meet in person because it's really an important day for all of us.
Yeah. Great.
Anything else anyone would like to add? Okay. Stay by the pool tomorrow. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
you.
Good night, everybody.